family. I'm Dr. Nkosi, and welcome to Nkosi Soul and Spirit. I'm so glad that you all are here with me. We are working on a series entitled Astrology, the key to understanding self and knowing self. All right. And so I guess this is a part 2. I'll put the numbers on there later. But yes, I'm really excited. I'm learning and I'm growing and expanding consciousness. And I think this is a wonderful way to do it. I'm looking for my tribe. If you're looking for your tribe, hey, if this resonates with you, then we can rock till the wheels fall off. All right. So I'd like you to hit the like button before we get started and subscribe to the channel. Help us to grow and expand and help us to build. And so I started off the first video just giving an introduction to astrology, and I wanted to say a very famous African proverb that is found on the gates of the temple of the mystery schools in ancient Kemet. And the very famous proverb is know thyself. And for those of us that are into cultivating spirituality outside of limiting belief systems and limiting mainstream traditional religions, it's important that we honor our ancestors, honor our heritage, and honor and learn about their spirituality and their spiritual practices and what made your ancestors great. And one of these sacred tools and sacred sciences, as I would refer to them as, would be astrology. And before an initiate can enter the mystery schools in ancient Kemet or ancient Egypt, they would have to prove that they had a working knowledge of astrology. Know thyself before you can go further, before you can enter the portals into higher knowledge, deeper knowledge, sacred knowledge. There had to be a working understanding of your role, your purpose, the purpose of your existence, your assignment in this great cosmos and in this great universe. And so astrology, the study of it, helps us to understand that in a very deep and very significant way. And so this culture has really been very, very silent on the topic of astrology. Its study has been taboo, and unfortunately, there's not enough. Enough has not been said. There's not enough been said in our community about astrology and its ability to empower us and to provide for us information that will help us to grow and make a major contribution in our lifetime. And so, again, I'm Dr. Nkosi. I have a wonderful book series on Amazon entitled Spiritual Intelligence, Volumes 1 and 2, The Reawakening of Black Spiritual Genius, and The Hidden Christology. You need to get those books. They're mind expanding and transformational. So let's get with it. So if you're with my tribe, hit that like button, please. And there'll be a series of videos here. I will number them later for you. And, we want to learn about astrology, okay? We want to grow. We want to expand. We don't want to be limited. And we are fearless, and we are fierce about our freedom and our ability to think freely and to not to have constraints, because the whole word religion comes from the Latin religare, which means to bind. To bind, to keep bound. And so the idea of spirituality is to free yourself and to free your mind from limiting thought systems that are very controlling, and that in this new age, in this Aquarian age, it no longer serves. Many of us have transcended the old thought systems. And I was sharing not too long ago, I said, the scripture talks about you cannot put new wine in old wineskins. You cannot put new wine in old bottles. And when you are full of new wine, there has to be a new structure that has to be created, because the old bottles cannot hold you. So the religious structures cannot hold me. I cannot be contained by structures that want to limit me and want to deny my innate divinity, because that is the aim of religion and religious gatekeepers. And they want to control your thinking and behavior, and that control is about preventing you from ever understanding that you don't need the system, you don't need the structure, because you possess innate divinity. And the day you understand it, and the day you wake up to that, you no longer need them. You can get off the treadmill, okay, of them dangling a carrot in front of you. The promises, you're gonna hit the jackpot because you're tired, or you're going to, you're gonna go to heaven, or you're gonna escape hell, or whatever the carrot is that they're dangling. You can get off that treadmill, and you can embrace and adopt a spirituality that honors your sacred truth, that honors Blackness. How about that? And that allows you to explore ancient spiritual systems that we were robbed of, okay, and that the Roman Catholic Church demonized. All right, and so that's where we are today. All right, so if you can rock and roll with us, hit the like button, and I would appreciate that. So I guess I want to start by saying today's section, this is part 2. We'll be talking about astrology. We talked about houses. We talked about getting your natal chart number 1. And then we talked about the houses. Today I want to talk about planets and their meaning and significance. And I wanted to say you do need to get a natal chart done, because it is a very, very, very powerful instrument that is used to level you up spiritually, to assist you in completing your life's work in this lifetime. The natal chart will point out the spheres of life where you have the greatest influence, the areas in life that you have to improve upon, the specific tasks that you have to improve upon. The natal chart will point out your gifting, your obsessions, which this is where your gifting would be, your career path. The natal chart will point out your ability to work with groups, networking, leadership, career success, career challenges, marital challenges, challenges with money, other people's money, your obsession with spirituality, something that I have that's found in the 9th house, and so your ability to possess wealth. All of that's found in your natal chart. Degrees of fame, all of that's found in the natal chart. Your childhood, your relationship with siblings, and things of that nature. All right, family. It is amazing what you can find out with your natal chart. So the 3 things you need to get a natal chart done would be your place of birth, the city or town of your birth location, of course your birth date, and the time of birth. And all of those 3 things are put into an algorithm. It's all done digitally now. And there is a round chart that appears that once you plug in all of your information, and the chart would be the houses, the chart of your of the houses, the 12 houses of the zodiac houses. Okay, we know we have 12 signs. We talk about houses now. So we have 12 houses, and then we have 12 signs. But each house represents a sphere of life. Okay, it represents a sphere of life, and the moment, the precise moment of your birth, gives a snapshot in the heavens, and each planet is placed in a particular position. Okay, in the heavens. Okay, they're mapped out and circled. The ancient people mapped it out. And every planet that's positioned tells a story about your life, your gifting, your highs, your lows, your successes, your tragedies, your talent, your ability, your career, your money, your family, your marriages, or more than one marriage. It's all there. It's amazing. Okay, it's absolutely amazing, everybody. So I need you guys to get your natal chart done. I'll be glad to do a natal chart for you. Hit me up at nkosiwisdom@gmail.com. I'll do the natal chart for you for a donation. Please hit me up, all right? So my email is on the screen here. So that was the last video. So if you did not see that, go back and see the first one. I will go back and number them. All right. I wasn't able to get the 12 houses chart up, but we'll work on that later. All right. But it's a great video. I felt it was a great introduction. We want to start slowly to try to help everybody understand the pieces of astrology. All right. And so we want to honor our ancestors, because our ancestors were astrologers, and they left signs, and they are boldly proclaiming that they were astrologers. If you look at the screen behind me, these are the 3 pyramids at Giza. You see the other one? There you go. The 3 pyramids at Giza are perfectly aligned with the constellation Orion. Those are the 3 stars, major stars of Orion's belt. And so in this way, our ancient ancestors, they built pyramids. They were not tombs of the pharaohs, but they were stargates, all right? And that were perfectly aligned, all right, with very powerful star systems and constellations that they were very much aware of. And in creating these monuments that are standing the test of time, they are announcing to the world, we were astrologers. Same thing with the Sphinx, the Great Sphinx. The Great Sphinx is an announcement. We were astrologers, okay? And so, they're boldly saying that. But the Roman Catholic Church, and then of course the Protestant Church that followed, anything the Roman Catholic Church decided, the popes decided to tell the common people, all right, or the masses, that astrology was evil, taboo. They forbid it. They said it was demons. It's demonology. It's demonic. And so, why did they do that? Because they know the truth of who you really are, the truth of your divinity, of your innate divinity, can be revealed in the study of your natal chart, of your birth chart. So I say everybody needs to get a natal chart done, because it will blow your mind. It will change your life. It's very transformative to get a chart done, and have someone explain to you what each planet in each house means. And I mean, it's just amazing. So hit me up if you need that done. The email is there on the screen. And so that's the natal chart. Look it up. You need to get one done, because it will change your life for those of you that really want to ascend and grow and really want to experience, personal evolution. All right. You really want to transcend limiting thought systems and limiting traditional religious systems. Okay. Astrology is a great way to begin to learn. Know thyself. You've got to know yourself. And everybody talks about that in the conscious community and these communities. Oh, know thyself, know thyself. Well, have you had your natal chart done? Because if you haven't had the chart done, I don't know how do you even begin. Yes, there are things that we know because we're intuitive. All right, and we know things by way of spirit, but the natal chart is a confirmation, and it challenges you because it shows you past, present, and future. All right, the things that you have yet to do, the things that you have not conquered, the things that you have not mastered, and this is the area of life that you need to pay attention to. So it arms you with great information. So I just wanted to say that. All right. So please hit the like button and subscribe and help me out, family. You watching the videos, I appreciate it. You help me to just grow the channel, all right? I wanted to start with a scripture. I like to use scripture to help us, because scripture is a language that a lot of people speak in, all right? And we know that the scripture is made of fragmented aspects of very ancient mythology, borrowed, plagiarized, copied mythology. We understand that. We also understand that the scripture is instruction, and it represents counsel, and it represents inspiration for many. It is considered a sacred text for many. Okay, and so there are many aspects of scripture that we can respect. And then Dr. John Henry Clark said, "Don't throw away the scriptures." Okay, because the scriptures are code, encoded in the scriptures are many features and aspects of the prophetic dimension, and where we are and where we need to go. These things are encoded in scripture, right? So we're not going to throw it out. So I want to look at a text in Genesis 1 and 14. I just want to quote it for you quickly. And it says here, then God said, let there be lights, plural, lights, in the expanse of the heavens, okay, to separate the day from night, and let them be for signs, all right, plural, and seasons, and for days and years. And that word lights, when you do a study of that word lights, has to do with for signs, the word signs has to do with omens. Omens appearing. That word lights has to do with more than the sun, but all of the celestial bodies that your ancient ancestors were able to see with the naked eye. The only planets they could not see with the naked eye were the three that were the farthest away. Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And so there's a whole story about those three. But the planets, the sun, and the moon, they were able to see, and they were very familiar. And these planets and these celestial bodies told a story, and their interaction and their movements were tracked and observed by ancient people all over the world, and they gained great knowledge. But the scriptures say that these were for an omen, and an omen is portending remarkable events and supernatural events for predicting things that were yet to come. And so we have lost the ability, this modern culture, all right, that has rejected ancient wisdom and ancient knowledge. We have lost the ability to read omens. But ancient people could read omens. They could look up into the night sky and look at a solar eclipse and extract meaning from that, significant meaning. They could look up to the night sky and see a lunar eclipse and extract significant meaning. They understood the movements of the planets, and they understood that every planet had its own characteristic, had its own trait, because the planets act as the technology we understand today would be satellites. All right, they send satellites up into the sky, and those satellites inform what you watch on your television. They send signals, they emit signals that inform the technology in the earth, and then something shows up on your laptop screen or on YouTube or on HBO or what have you. Same thing with the telephone towers. They are communicating with satellites. This is the technology, okay, that we understand. The technology we borrowed, okay, from the Most High, from nature, from the heavens that set Jupiter and Uranus and Mercury and Venus and Saturn in the sky. And each of these are nature's satellites, and these satellites emit signals. They send information to the earth. They send energetic signals to the earth, and those signals could be interpreted by ancient people that were respectful of nature, that were at one with nature, and that could look up into the night sky, and they could discern the patterns of the heaven. The Bible talks about the sons of Issachar, who were wise. Why were they wise? Because they could look up to the heavens and they could read the omens. They could read the movements, and they understood that Jupiter was the planet of luck, that Mars was the planet of aggression and possibly war. Each planet has certain traits and certain characteristics that they hold, that they possess. And when those planets move into certain houses, all right, any one of the 12 houses, then that information tells a story. And that information impacts globally, it impacts nations, it impacts regions, it impacts cities, and it impacts individuals. All right, and that's where we get the ancient proverb, as above, so below. As above, so below is an astrological reference that whatever's going on in the heavens are going to tell a story about what is happening in the earth. The heavens are going to tell us the story about what will happen in your life. There are predictions there. And you can find that out as you get your natal chart done. It is a fantastic system that the Most High has got going on and that has put in the sky. But the Roman Catholic Church came along and demonized it, and your bishop and your pastor and one or two Old Testament scriptures demonized it, okay, prohibited, made it taboo, and so you never tapped into the great powerful resource and the great powerful tool, all right, to help us to respect and understand and own our innate divinity. Why? Because they don't want you to know, okay, that you are divinity in human flesh. That's what they don't want you to know. They don't want you to wake up to that, okay? Because then you no longer need them. You can get off of that system. You can matriculate. You can graduate and get off of that pablum. You can go onto the meat of your true assignment, so you can complete your divine assignment in your lifetime. Yes, because that's why we're here. We all come to the planet to heal, and we all come to the planet to complete our work. Well, what good is it for you to be in the earth if you don't even know what that work is? Know thyself is the proverb that was hanging upon the mantle of the entrance into the mystery schools in ancient Kemet and everywhere in the ancient world. Know thyself was a reference to understanding your part, in the part that you will play, the understanding the significance of your existence in this grand universe. Because most people don't think that there's a grand design or grand and intelligent plan for their lives, but there is. And yes, we have intuition. Yes, most of us have great ideas, and most of us have followed a path, but there's always more. There's always something we can improve upon. There's always something we have not seen. There's always something we have not yet really fully embraced. But the natal chart and the understanding of it can confirm these things for you. Now, I'm not talking about reading your horoscope in the Sunday paper. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about information, all right, that will set you free and set you on a course and set you on a trajectory, okay, that cannot be denied. A trajectory that makes you unstoppable, okay? And so that's where we're going here with this, introductory videos about astrology and how important it is. So the Most High hung these celestial bodies in the sky, all right, for signs, omens, which were could be interpreted by wise ones, by scholars. Every scholar in the ancient world had to have a working knowledge of astrology. Every scholar in the ancient world, you were not respected unless you understood astrology and astronomy and had a working knowledge of it, okay? So that's why it's important for us. I'm going to read another one. Job 38:32. It says, "Canst thou bring forth the Mazzaroth?" The Mazzaroth, Mazzaroth, all right, is an Old Testament reference to the zodiac, all right, or to the whole system of astrology. The Mazzaroth. Canst thou bring forth the Mazzaroth in his season, or can you give Arcturus, Arcturus with his sons, which is a star system? Canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades, which is a star system, or loose the bands of Orion? Okay, and as you know, Job is one of the oldest Old Testament texts, and they're talking about Pleiades, a star system. So the writers were very aware, okay, of astronomy, of these star systems, Arcturus, Orion that you see behind me, the three stars that make up Orion's belt, right? And so it's very important. The Roman Catholic Church wanted to keep us from astrology, all right, and keep us away from astrology, because the truth of our existence is found there, of your personal significance in this universe can be found there. If you seek it, ask, seek, knock, and also the truth of the biblical narrative is found in astrology and sister science, astronomy. All right, so we're gonna leave that there because we'll talk about astrotheology in another video that's a little bit more advanced, but we're gonna get there. All right. So yes, I wanted to share that to you. I thought that was very significant. It says the Old Testament says the lights are for signs, and a sign is an omen. We have lost the ability to read the signs. And I remember back in 2017, there was a total solar eclipse. And that was the time, I want to say that Trump was just getting in office, and there was a total solar eclipse. And they said that the United States was the only nation in which from both coasts, from east to west coast, could see this eclipse fully. And they were talking about it, and I was teaching my students. I was teaching gifted students in school, and I was teaching these students about this. And I had to do all kind of stuff online, all kind of digital work about this eclipse. We were so excited. We went outside, we saw the eclipse, all this stuff, and I had the kids to look up the ancient mythologies surrounding solar eclipses. And one of the ancient cultures, so they showed you ancient mythologies around the world, all right? And one culture, I believe it was Mexico. I want to say it was Mexico. And we read the myth, and the myth said that a solar eclipse, the ancient people of that particular culture believed that the solar eclipse, in whatever nation could actually see, whoever could see that solar eclipse, that it would be signify, all right, it would be an omen that would signify a major disruption to the normal order of things. So that was the prediction. It would be a major disruption to the normal order of things. And I told my students that, and I said, y'all, this is what's getting ready to happen in this country, and pretty much, and that's when Trump got started with all the shenanigans. Okay, and truly, it has been since that time. It has been a total disruption to the normal order of things. And so the ancient people understood how to read these eclipses. They understood how to read it, and it was recorded in their mythologies. We have lost that ability, and so it's very important that we go back, okay, before the Romans came in and robbed us of, precious, tremendous, and sacred ancient knowledge. Before we were robbed, before African people and African Americans and Africans all over the diaspora were robbed of their spiritual heritage, before we were robbed, okay, we need to go back to ancient times and pick up, all right, Sankofa, what was lost, all right, to pick up what was lost. And so this is lost, hidden knowledge. And as we move into the age of Aquarius, we're moving out of Pisces. I talk about that. How the Piscean age is all about religious abuse, spiritual abuse, suppression of knowledge, war, magic, mayhem, the suppression of the woman, all right, the imbalance between masculine and feminine. The Piscean age and the church age ran concurrently. Okay, so both are ending. All right, both end at the same time, the Piscean age and the church age. So that's why you're seeing the church is losing its influence amongst the people. Why? Because the people are transcending. There's a reset that's going on. These new next generation, Generation X, Generation Z, and all these generations, young folks, they're not studying all that old stuff that they tried to cram down our necks. They not these young people are on to the next thing. Their minds are open. They understand, okay, the corruption that the church has fallen into. All right, and in this next season will be the Aquarian age, in which knowledge is going to be poured out. What kind of knowledge? Ancient knowledge. In Acts, it talks about it talks about the pouring out of knowledge upon all flesh, and your sons and daughters will prophesy. What does that mean? People, your sons and daughters, this next generation is going to speak some things. It's going to anger you guys. It's going to make you mad. It's going to make you infuriate you. You're going to be upset and hostile towards these messages that are coming out, that are reproving, okay, the lies and the deception and the false narratives and the false claims that religion has made. And so the book of Acts tell you that. He said there's going to be outpouring of spirit. What does that mean? Are we all going to be running around banging tambourines and lap running around the church? No. We are all going to receive a deluge, a flood, an overflow of knowledge that will help us to ascend spiritually, that will help humanity to grow and develop, and help humanity to evolve and expand in social and spiritual consciousness. Okay, because the Piscean age represents a depraved time of racism and patriarchy and male dominance and misogyny, the hatred of women. There's been an imbalance in the cosmos, all right, between masculine and feminine. And there's been a violation of the feminine. And so now in the Aquarian age, there's an outpouring of knowledge. There's a shift. The internet is a game changer because the internet is where this knowledge is going to flow. The internet is where this knowledge is a fountain, okay, of the outflow of this knowledge. And this is knowledge that's going to change the world. It will reset and rewire, okay, all flesh. All right, and it cannot be denied. Ancient knowledge and suppressed information, the lies and all that stuff that we're told, that stuff is coming to an end. All right, and the tools of the divine feminine that were suppressed, like the ancient tools, like astrology, the study of it, the understanding of it, that was suppressed. Gematria, numerology, the tarot, all of these forms of divination. Whether it could be tarot, it could be from through Ifa, it could be through any indigenous system. All right, these were the ancient systems that worked, and these were the ancient systems that were able to release and help people to ascend. And these systems were demonized, were robbed of these systems, we were shut down, and now we are going to see a resurrection. Okay, because truth that was shattered to the ground is rising again. It's rising again. And so that's what this whole study of astrology is about. What we need to study that for? Because your bishop didn't tell you. Well, your bishop don't know. Okay, let's just say what it is. So anyway, so I said all that hopefully as an introduction. Also in the scripture talked about talking about the signs that the celestial bodies and activity are for signs and for omens, and we've lost the ability to interpret them. But in your scripture, it talks about the three wise men. It's a part of the Christ narrative, all right? The three wise men, they were wise because they were scholars, and they were scholars because as an initiate, they had to have a working knowledge of astrology. And they looked up into the heavens and they followed a star, okay? And the star informed them that a king would be born. And they were able to, according to the narrative, and they were able to locate the king, and they were able to bring this king gifts. And so there are all kinds of references to astrology in scripture. The other reference would be in my house there are many mansions. Okay, well, what if it were not so, I would have told you what it meant in my house. There are 12 houses, okay, of the zodiac that represent the 12 spheres of light. And then there are 27 lunar mansions in Aramaic astrology, okay? So, but the average person reading the text doesn't know that, okay? But the Roman Catholics know it. But guess what they did? They buried that information while they were telling everybody that astrology was evil. I'm talking about the popes, and I wrote about this in my book. And it's documented, okay? I did the research. While the same time these popes were telling the people that the study of astrology was demonic, they were sneaking astrologers in the back door of the Vatican and seeking their wisdom, knowledge, and predictions for the future. Okay? All right. I'm just trying to tell you. What they did, all right? And so, yes. And so I wanted to talk about That was my introduction. I want to talk about the planets. All right. Now, the sun and the moon are considered planets in astrology. Okay, and the sun symbolizes. The sun operates off of the masculine principle. All right. Now, I've heard some people say it operates off masculine and feminine, but for now, let's just say the masculine principle. All right. The sun represents the ego, consciousness, personality, intelligence, and vitality. All right, because the sun is information. The sun is information. The sun is healing. The sun has an energy of heightened and higher consciousness. All right, and intelligence. And so the sun is vitality. It's life. It's beauty. It's all of those things. But let me see. Let me check my other one as well. So every planet has meaning and significance. The sun also represents our core essence, our ego, and our identity. It symbolizes, as I said, vitality, also self-expression, and the life force within us. The sun determines our basic personality traits and represents our conscious self. All right, so that's the sun. The sun is that energy. That's what the sun represents in astrology. Okay, the moon represents the feminine principle. All right, and the moon represents unconsciousness, while the sun represents conscious self. The moon represents unconsciousness. It represents emotions, okay, instincts, moods, and psychic ability. The moon is associated with psychic ability, all right? So the moon is about unconsciousness, emotions in particular, and psychic ability. Mercury is the planet, that represents mental ability, all right? And the mind, the operations of the mind, right? Also communication, intellect, reasoning, reason, language, and intelligence, all right? So Mercury represents all of these mental processes. It influences our thinking patterns, logic, learning style, how we express ourselves verbally and in writing. The moon also governs our adaptability and our curiosity. I got two things I'm reading from. All right, I took my notes in and I'm looking over here. All right, so yes, Mercury is associated with, I want to say Gemini, because Gemini is that thinking that, you know, with air signs of Gemini, that thinking and communicating energy, that ability. People who are Geminis are very strong with the ability to think and speak. And I believe that Gemini is ruled by Mercury, okay? So then you have Venus. Venus is about relationship, love relationships, beauty, the arts, harmony, attraction, all right? And so it is about our aesthetic preferences, our values, and our capacity for affection. Venus influences our approach to love, romance, art, and our sense of peace and balance, right? Mars, okay? Mars is the planet of aggression, action, sex, desire, competition, war, violence, courage, passion, and conflict, all right? So Mars influences our desires, determination, and how we assert ourselves in pursuit of our goals. So someone who has a lot of Mars energy is very aggressive. They're very aggressive. They can be violent. They're action takers. They're very, very strong. So Mars, when there's influence upon Mars and the sign of the individual, that shows aggression, power, action, okay? Jupiter is, I guess, one of my favorite planets, excuse me, because Jupiter is a planet of luck, growth, and expansion, all right? Jupiter is about optimism, abundance, and understanding. So if Jupiter in your natal chart shows up in a particular house, it's going to bless the house with luck, growth, expansion, and optimism, okay? So Jupiter influences our beliefs, our moral values, generosity, and the search for meaning and purpose in life, right? So Jupiter is a benefic planet, meaning that there's goodness there. When Jupiter shows up, it's a positive energy that's there. Mars is a malefic planet. So when Mars shows up in a house, when you're interpreting your chart, Mars would be a planet that, you're gonna have some challenges there. Okay. So Saturn is a planet of restriction, whereas Jupiter is expansive. That means blessings, abundance, love. Your pathway is open. Okay. Saturn is somewhat the opposite. Saturn is about restrictions. It's about holding you back. All right, about rules, about law, discipline, responsibility, obligation, and ambition. All right. So Saturn is going to make you work for the blessing. You're going to have to roll up your sleeves with Saturn, and you're going to have to put the work in. It's about discipline. It's about what you do every day. It's about your degree of ambition. How bad do you want this? That's what Saturn is about. And Saturn will open up her arms to you. Okay, open up its arms to you once you have put the work in. So that's what Saturn is about. Saturn is about structure and personal responsibility and discipline. It governs our limitations, challenges, and areas of personal growth. All right. Saturn influences our sense of duty, self-discipline, perseverance, and our approach to authority and boundaries. And so Saturn is the great taskmaster. So many people want success. They want blessing. They want all of Jupiter's blessings. Okay, but then Saturn will show up in your sign. All right. Saturn is there to remind you to work hard, because Saturn is only going to reward the discipline, and it rewards daily disciplined action. That's Saturn, and doing what's right, taking personal responsibility, being accountable. Okay, that's Saturn. So Saturn is a hard taskmaster, but Saturn is a real strong teacher. Okay, Uranus. All right, it's Uranus. All right, okay. Is the planet of change. All right, rebellion, reformation. It's the planet of collective rebellion, reformation, shifts, and movements. All right. So Uranus is about change, and we're in that time now. We're really, really moving into a time of social change. All right. And we're moving into a time of like a social rebellion. You can feel we're right on the cusp of that. We're on the cusp of reformation, because reformation is necessary. Reform is necessary, because all of our systems, whether economic systems, financial systems, health systems, educational systems, government systems, political systems, all of our systems are broken and beyond human repair. Okay, and so Uranus comes in, and the signal that Uranus emits is one of radical change. Radical change here, innovation, doing something new that will upset the status quo. So Uranus is that energy. All right. Then you have Neptune. Neptune represents mysticism, dreams, intuition, imagination, and delusions. All right. So, but Neptune is the planet of when you find people that are very spiritually connected and locked into higher dimensions, into otherworldly influences. That's Neptune. All right. Neptune is when someone is a heavy mystic, and they're comfortable with hidden things, and they're comfortable with ancient knowledge that's kind of forbidden. Okay, so I have a lot of Neptune in my chart. So that's Neptune. That's Neptune. This is the mystics hang out with that energy, and it is an otherworldly energy. These last three planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Uranus, Neptune and Pluto, these three planets are the outer planets. And these are the three planets that were the furthest away. So these planets are always associated with they bring in an energy that is about reform and change and transition, and they bring in an energy, and they're the furthest away. So it takes them longer to cycle in. That's why change takes so long and so difficult. And so social movements and rebellions and revolutions are fought under the influence of the energies of these planets. Okay, Uranus and Pluto. Pluto is the planet of transformation, of power, of death, of rebirth, of evolution and revolution. So they're saying that the French Revolution was fought when Pluto was in a particular house, all right? And so revolutions, or whether it's the American Revolution, Pluto is a revolutionary planet. It's about evolution and revolution, all right? Transformation, personal transformation or national transformation or global transformation. Pluto represents power, death, and rebirth, all right? So these are very powerful energies because Pluto is on the outer edge, okay, of our star system. And so Pluto, it has influence from, it is closer to, than any other planet to other star systems and other influences out in the universe, all right? That when Pluto comes through, it's a powerful energy for social change, for higher consciousness. Same thing with Uranus, all right? Change, reformation, shifts, and movements. And Neptune is that, planet that influences individuals who are able to transcend and who are able to ascend spiritually. Neptune is also associated with psychic ability, I want to say, the use of your imagination, and it could also be associated with delusions or even drug use, okay? So Neptune, so people that are on shrooms and other stuff like that, they're doing now, whatever they're doing now, a lot of that's Neptune's influence, right? On individuals or on cities or on regions or on nations, all right? On nations or globally, all right? So these planets emit, as I said, these are the natural satellites that were set in the sky in creation, all right? It's very much like our satellite usage today. They emit signals into the earth that influence. That's how you watch what you watch on cable TV, because they're satellites that emit a signal. And these planets are emitting a signal that influence you as an individual. When you have your natal chart done, you are able to look at the 12 houses, 12 spheres of life's influence, and you're able to see a snapshot of where each and every planet, the sun, the moon, Neptune, Uranus, Mercury, all of them, you're able to see where all of these planets fall and where each planet is positioned at the precise moment of your birth. And that snapshot is called the natal chart or the birth chart, and it is so significant because all of those energies, all right, that were present at the moment you came into the world, all right, you came into the world pregnant with possibilities. You came into the world with an arsenal of gifting, of soul contracts, of assignments, of divine assignment, and you came packing with the ability to do and to produce and to overcome and to navigate your way through this matrix and to complete your life's work in this lifetime. And everything that you need to know about completing the work and about looking out for the areas of weakness and strengthening the areas that maybe you possibly neglected in this lifetime. It's all in the natal chart. It's all there. Because anybody with the working knowledge can interpret the position of the planets, the sun, and the moon, and they can explain to you what these things mean. And it is full of possibility and full of prophetic destiny fulfillment for anyone who is interested. And so I'm going to stop it right there. I am Dr. Nkosi. Get a copy of my book, Spiritual Intelligence, Volumes 1 and 2 on Amazon. Make sure you get that. It's transformational. It will change your life and expand your mind in a multitude of ways. I'm just sharing some of the ideas and things that I've written about in my book. And so if you love the video, please hit the like button, share the video, please, with some friends, family, some people that are like-minded, people that are over the church program or over traditional religious systems or thought systems that are limiting, and ready to just explore some systems that will really help you and support you all right, during this lifespan. So I'm so glad that you are rocking with me. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. I love you guys much. If you want a natal chart done, hit me up at nkosiwisdom@gmail.com. If you love what we're doing here, you can hit me up on Cash App at the cash symbol, Dr. Kai Nkosi. And if nobody said they love you, I will say it right now. I love you very much. And just rock with us, okay? Thank you. And I will check you guys out later, okay? Bye-bye.